Welcome back to the Conversion Bible, where we break down the psychology behind turning those window shoppers into, well, actual buyers on your Shopify store. Oh, and hey, big thanks to our sponsor, Growth Suite. They're all about helping you run super smart discount campaigns. Seriously, it's like magic. You can actually give it a test drive for free. Just head over to the Shopify App Store. But enough about that. Let's get into today's topic. It's something I know we've all dealt with as online shoppers, that little voice that pops up when you're about to hit buy now. It's like, but what if I have to return this? So yeah, we're going to tackle free returns. But here's the thing. We're not just talking about the logistics. We're going to go deep into the psychology behind it. Have you ever noticed, I don't know if you've experienced this, but the thought of losing something just feels way worse than the joy of getting something that's worth the same, you know?
Oh, yeah, totally. It's a very human thing. It's called loss aversion. Like, picture this. Losing $100, ouch, right? Now, imagine finding $100. Feels pretty good, but does it make you forget about losing that other 100? Not really. Studies show we feel losses twice as strongly as gains.
Wait, twice as much? So, it's not just me being a drama queen. There's actual science behind this whole return thing.
Oh, absolutely. It's evolution, really. Our brains are wired to avoid loss. Think about it. Back in the day, losing resources could mean, well, not making it. That instinct is still a big part of how we decide things, even when it's not, life or death.
Okay, that makes total sense. Especially when you're shopping online, there's already so much uncertainty. You can't touch it. The color might be off. Will it even fit? Then you add in the fear of a messy return process, and bam, that's why people abandon their carts.
Exactly. And it's not even just the cost of returning something. It's the time you spend packing it up, going to the post office, waiting for that refund. It all feels like a loss, even if you don't pay for the return.
So basically, our brains are like playing tug-of-war. One side is the excitement of the new thing, and the other is all these potential losses with returns. No wonder we hesitate to buy stuff.
That's where the power of free returns comes in. It's like a giant safety net. When people know they can return something without a hassle, they're way more likely to take the plunge.
So it's not just about making returns easy, it's about changing the whole mindset. Turn that fear of loss into, the thrill of potentially gaining something awesome.
Exactly. Free returns can even make people try pricier stuff or brands they've never heard of because it takes away that risk. And what does that lead to? Faster checkouts, bigger orders, and happier customers all around.
Okay, I'm starting to see the light, but I bet some of our listeners are like, hold on, won't people just return everything?
That's a fair point. But free returns don't automatically equal a ton of returns. You can actually stop them before they happen. Think about it. Every return means someone wasn't happy with what they got. So how can we make sure they get exactly what they expect?
Maybe better descriptions. Lots of pictures.
You're getting it. High-quality images that show the product from every angle, even videos if you can, those are game changers. And don't be shy with the product descriptions. Tell them everything. Sizes, materials, care instructions, the works.
So, give them a try before you buy experience online. The more info they have, the less they'll need to return stuff. I like it. What else can we do?
Think about the questions people always ask. Don't wait for them to email you. Just put it all out there in an FAQ or a product guide.
Smart. If you're selling clothes, have a super clear size chart, maybe even measurements from the models so people know how it fits.
Exactly. It's all about figuring out those problems before they even happen.
Okay, that's brilliant. But what about those returns that you just can't avoid? Can we make those easier for both of us?
Absolutely. Ever thought about offering store credit instead of a full refund?
I think I see where you're going with this. So even if they return the product, the money stays with me.
Bingo! And a lot of customers actually prefer store credit. It's instant. They can get something else right away. No waiting for refunds.
You could even give them a little extra if they choose store credit. Hey, take store credit and get 10% off your next order.
I love that. It's a win-win. The customer feels special and you keep that sale.
Okay, we are on a roll. Let's push this loss aversion thing even further. What are some more ways we can use it to get more sales?
Well, remember how we talked about limited time offers creating urgency?
Yeah, it's like that flash sale feeling. Got to get it before it's gone.
Right. You can do that with free returns, too. Imagine a banner on your site that says, free returns for the next 24 hours only.
Ooh, sneaky. So it's they're scared to miss out on free returns, and they're more likely to buy.
Exactly. And let's not forget about those good old-fashioned money-back guarantees. They're classic for a reason. People feel safer knowing they're not risking their money.
Especially for big purchases or stuff where quality's it's super important. A money-back guarantee can really make a difference.
Totally. And if you want to get creative, you can combine free returns with other loss aversion tricks, like free gifts, low stock messages, only 3 left. You know the drill. It all adds up.
Whoa, we're like Jedi Masters of online sales now.
Maybe. But remember, it's all about using these things ethically and making sure your customers have a good experience.
Definitely. Happy customers mean loyal customers, and that's the goal.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's see how these things are actually working out in the real world. You know Zappos, right?
Yeah, they're like the kings of customer service.
Exactly. Their 365-day return policy is famous for a reason. It's part of their brand, and it makes people trust them.
If you're that confident in what you're selling, why not show it with an amazing return policy? Makes sense to me.
Exactly. But it's not just the big guys. Plenty of small Shopify stores are killing it with free returns. I was reading about one clothing store. They saw their sales go up 15% just by offering free return shipping.
Wow, that's huge. It proves you don't have to be a giant company to make free returns work for you.
Nope. But there's no one-size-fits-all solution. You got to figure out what works for your store, your products, and your customers. Try things out, track your results, and don't be afraid to change your policy as you go.
All right, I'm feeling inspired and ready to get started, but before we wrap up, I have to ask, what's next for e-commerce returns? Are there any big trends on the horizon?
Ooh, good question. Get ready for some futuristic stuff. Think virtual try-ons with AR, AI suggesting the right size for you, even blockchain tech that makes the whole return process more transparent.
Wow, that's mind-blowing. So it sounds like returns in the future will be all about less uncertainty and a much smoother experience overall.
Yep. As tech keeps evolving, we can expect even more creative solutions that make returns easy, fast, and, good for the environment.
Speaking of the environment, that's something we haven't really touched on.
Sure.
With all these returns going back and forth, what about the impact on the planet?
That's a big one. More shipments mean more packaging and more carbon emissions. So as business owners, we have a responsibility to reduce our impact.
It's not just about free returns, it's about doing it the right way for the planet.
Exactly. Use eco-friendly packaging, maybe offer carbon offsets for those return shipments, and look into different ways to return stuff that don't involve, like, driving across the country.
This has been an amazing deep dive full of useful stuff. But before we get too lost in the future, let's bring it back down to earth. What's the one big thing our listeners should take away from all of this?
It's simple but powerful. When you understand the psychology behind loss aversion, free returns can become a huge growth tool, not just a cost. It's about trust, more sales, and customers who stick around. Everyone wins.
I love it. So listeners, are you ready to put all this into action? The Conversion Bible is all about giving you the tools you need to succeed on Shopify. And speaking of tools, big thanks to our sponsor, Growth Suite.
If you're looking to boost your sales and run those clever discount campaigns we talked about, Growth Suite is your go-to. And guess what? You can try it for free on the Shopify App Store. Just search for Growth Suite and get ready to take your e-commerce game to the next level.
That's right. So until next time, keep those conversions coming. And remember, understanding how people think is your secret weapon to Shopify success.
And don't forget to check out Growth Suite.
Absolutely. All right, we'll see you back here for another exciting deep dive into the Conversion Bible.
Welcome back to the Conversion Bible. We're in the middle of it now, talking about how free returns can totally change the game for your Shopify store.
Yeah, and we left off with a little teaser about some more advanced strategies to level up those returns. What's the secret sauce?
Okay, so first things first. Instead of just dealing with returns when they happen, how about we try to stop them altogether?
Ooh, I like that. Prevention is better than, the cure, right?
Exactly. Think of it like this. Every return means a customer wasn't 100% happy. So what can we do to make sure they get exactly what they expect right from the start?
Like maybe better product descriptions, more pictures.
You're on the right track. High-quality images that show the product, from every angle, maybe even videos. Those can be huge. And don't skimp on those descriptions. Give them all the info. Sizes, materials, care instructions, everything.
It's like giving them a virtual try-on experience online. More info, less uncertainty, fewer returns. Makes sense. What else?
Well, think about those questions people always ask. Instead of waiting for them to email you, just put it all out there. A detailed FAQ section or even a dedicated product guide.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
If you're selling clothes, have a size chart that's super easy to find, maybe a fit guide with the model's measurements?
Exactly. It's all about figuring out those problems before they become a reason for someone to return something.
Okay, that is smart.
Mhm.
But what about the returns that we just can't avoid? Is there a way to make those less painful for everyone?
Absolutely. Have you ever thought about, instead of a full refund, offering store credit?
Hmm, I think I see where you're going with this. So even if they return it, the money stays in my business.
Yes. And you know what? A lot of customers actually like store credit better. They don't have to wait for a refund. They can use it right away to buy something else they like.
Ooh, you could even give them like a little bonus for choosing store credit.
Yeah.
Like, hey, take store credit and get 10% off your next order.
I love that. It's win-win, right?
Yeah.
The customer feels appreciated and you keep that sale.
Okay, we are on a roll with this loss aversion thing.
Mm-hmm.
What are some more ways we can use it to get more sales?
Well, remember we were talking about those limited time offers that create urgency?
Yeah, it's like that flash sale feeling. You got to get it before it's gone.
Exactly. You can apply that to free returns too. Think about a banner on your website that says free returns for the next 24 hours only.
Ooh, that's sneaky. So they're scared to miss out on free returns, and they're more likely to buy.
Right. And don't forget about those good old-fashioned money-back guarantees. Those are classics for a reason, you know? People feel safer knowing they're not risking their money.
Especially for like expensive stuff or where quality is really important, a money-back guarantee can really seal the deal.
Totally. And if you want to get really creative, you can combine free returns with other loss aversion tactics. Think like free gifts or low stock messages. Only 3 left. You get the idea.
It's like we're becoming Jedi masters of e-commerce or something.
Maybe a little bit, but the main thing is to use these techniques the right way, ethically, and make sure your customers have a really good experience.
Definitely. Happy customers means loyal customers, which is what we all want, right?
You got it. So how about we look at some real-world examples? Have you heard of Zappos?
Oh yeah, they're like legends when it comes to customer service.
Exactly. Their 365-day return policy is like super famous. It's a big part of their brand and why people trust them so much.
Yeah, that makes sense. If you're really confident about what you sell, you should back it up with a great return policy.
Exactly. And it's not just the big companies. There are tons of smaller Shopify stores doing amazing things with free returns. I was reading about this one clothing store, and they actually saw their sales increase by 15% just by offering free return shipping.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. So it proves that any store can benefit from free returns no matter the size.
Absolutely. But it's not a one-size-fits-all thing. You got to figure out what works best for you, your products, and your customers. Experiment, track those results, and don't be afraid to tweak your policy as you learn.
Okay, I'm feeling inspired. But before we wrap things up, I have to ask, what's next for e-commerce returns? What big changes are coming?
Ooh, that's a great question. Get ready for some futuristic stuff. Think virtual try-ons with augmented reality, AI suggesting the perfect size for you, even blockchain tech making the whole return process super transparent.
Whoa, that's crazy. Sounds like the future of returns is all about less uncertainty and a much smoother, more personalized experience.
Exactly. As technology keeps getting better, we can expect even more creative solutions for returns. Easier, faster, and better for the environment.
Speaking of the environment, that's something we haven't talked about much. With all these returns going back and forth, what about the impact on the planet?
That's a really important point. More shipments mean more packaging, more carbon emissions, all of that. So as business owners, we have to be responsible and try to reduce our impact.
So it's not just about offering free returns, it's about doing it in a way that's good for the planet.
Absolutely. Things like using eco-friendly packaging, maybe offering carbon offsets for those shipments, and finding different ways to return stuff that don't involve, shipping things across the country.
This has been an incredible deep dive. So much useful stuff. But before we get lost in all the possibilities of the future, what's the main thing our listeners should take away from all of this?
It's pretty simple, but important. When you really get the psychology of loss aversion, free returns go from being a cost to being a huge tool for growth. It's about trust, increasing sales, and creating those loyal customers. It's a win for everyone.
Wow, we've really covered a ton today, like everything from the psychology of loss aversion to like the future of returns with AI and stuff.
It's kind of crazy how much there is to think about when it comes to something as, seemingly basic as a return policy.
But that's what I love about the Conversion Bible. We take these everyday e-commerce things and really get into like the why behind them.
Exactly. Once you get how people's minds work, you can come up with strategies that really click.
So as we wrap up this epic deep dive into free returns, What's the one big takeaway for our listeners?
For me, it's this. Free returns aren't just about making sure your customers don't lose out. They're about building a strong, long-term relationship based on trust.
It's that feeling of relief when you know you can buy something and not worry about being stuck with it if it's not right.
Yeah, exactly. It takes away that hesitation and lets people shop more freely, with more excitement.
And when your customers feel good about buying from you, they're more likely to come back, tell their friends, and become true fans of your brand.
It's a ripple effect that can really make a difference for your whole business.
I love that. So to all our listeners out there, I say, embrace the power of free returns. Don't be afraid to try stuff out, find what works best for your store, and watch those conversions go up.
And remember, a good return policy is just one piece of the puzzle. Combine it with those other loss aversion strategies we talked about, and you'll be unstoppable.
This has been an incredible episode. So many actionable insights. As always, a huge thank you to our amazing sponsor, Growth Suite.
If you're trying to boost sales and use those smart discount campaigns we talked about, Growth Suite is the way to go.
And don't forget, you can try it out for free on the Shopify App Store. Just search for Growth Suite and unlock a world of e-commerce growth hacks.
That's right. Until next time, keep those conversions rolling. And remember, the psychology of persuasion is your secret weapon for success on Shopify.
We'll see you back here for another exciting deep dive into the Conversion Bible.